How many hours a week do entrepreneurs work? And maybe you're asking this question because you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, wondering how much time you're going to need to put into it. Or maybe you're already an entrepreneur and wondering am I putting in the right amount of hours? Well, what we're going to talk about in this video are different stages because different amount of time is required at these different levels. I'm going to give you a lot of different examples. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's right for you. Let's start by talking about the beginning, right? In the beginning stages of your business, maybe for the first year or two, that might seem like a long time, but I've been in business for 13 years now. And I would say, yeah, for the first few years, I put in a lot of hours. I put in a lot of time, and here's why. You wear a lot of hats. So, I mean, I've got three different hats here as visuals. Here's my hiking hat. They don't really represent, but let's say this is the fulfillment hat. This is when I'm out and about and I'm providing the service or I'm making the products, right? I'm fulfilling on that. But then what about, I don't know, what about the time that I'm working on my business when I'm creating the systems or when, you've got to do bookkeeping, you've got to do payroll. If you want your business to grow, you've got to kind of be a visionary. You've got to, hopefully this visual makes sense that you're wearing a lot of different hats. And so compare that to when you were employed by somebody else. There were a lot of coworkers and management and your boss. And each person had their own hat. They had their own assignment, the tasks that they were responsible for. And you put in 8 hours a day doing one of those jobs. But now you're on your own. You've got your own business and you've got to still make sure that all of those things are done. So that's what we mean. We're talking about you wear all these different hats. Now, many of the hats or many of these positions don't generate revenue. And you're spending time in areas that are important, but they're not quite as urgent. So some of those hats can be put off till later. You've just got to make a list of all the different things that you think should be done. Which ones are generating revenue? Which ones can we work on later? Eventually you'll be able to hire people to do some of those tasks. But the first several months, even the first several years of your business, it's like make it or break it time. You've really got to focus on those money-making tasks so that you can prove your concept, prove your model. You can start to generate revenue and momentum in your business. Consider the first stage of your business as kind of survival mode. And you'll know when you're out of that. You'll know when the urgency is gone because it's a physical weight that you carry, that you feel. And when you get to a place where you don't have that same urgency, you'll know. I mean, the second phase of your business is you'll get to a point where you feel like you have momentum. You'll feel like, wow, I've got leads coming in automatically every month, and I've got a sales system in place that can turn these leads into customers, and I've got happy customers. I'm fulfilling on it, and they're giving me referrals. That's a good sign that you're going in the right direction. Typically, you're going to be putting in the expected 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week in this phase, but you can start to scale back. But there are some requirements to really be able to scale back because all these hats still need to be worn, all these jobs still need to be done. But you can create systems. There are a lot of episodes on my channel where I talk about systems, and this is something that you really want to master if you want to free up your time. If you want to be able to work less, you need to create systems in your business, like step-by-step roadmap or a set of instructions that you can hire somebody else to follow. And they can follow those steps, and then you can create another system and create another system. And then the more systems that you create that are helping get the same results that you would deliver if you were wearing that hat, then the easier it is for you to kind of scale back and get your time back. Something else that we refer to on this channel is the Cashflow Quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that. He talks about the difference between employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. Well, on this channel, we're going to be talking a lot about the transition from self-employed to business owner, because self-employed means now you're the boss, but you're still wearing all those hats. And the transition from self-employed to business owner, it's actually not just a quick change or just a mindset shift. You start out being mostly self-employed, and the more systems you create, the more of a business owner you are. Like when you have momentum in your business, and you can start to transition to acting more like a business owner, being the visionary, creating the systems, overseeing things, and choosing the direction that you're going to go. So let's talk about maybe phase 3, when you actually don't have to work. You can put in 0 time. Now, for me, I love what I do. I'm passionate about my business and entrepreneurship, and I love to create. I love to provide opportunities. I love to influence. And so I don't actually want to retire. Retirement is a foreign concept for me, and I understand it. I get it, especially in the employee world when I'm giving my time to somebody else and to somebody else's business and their creation. But as an entrepreneur, I love having time freedom. I love being able just to take off a week and know that my business is still running. So just so you can see that visual a little bit more, let's talk about being a dentist, because that's what I thought I wanted to be. I got a degree in human biology. I'm so glad I'm not a dentist. Okay, but here's this visual. A dentist, is he a business owner or is he self-employed? Okay, it's actually a mixture of both. I'm going to talk about the self-employed part of it though, because he's the one or she's the one that is drilling the teeth, right? That filling the cavities, putting on the crowns, right? So what happens when Mr. Dentist wants to go on vacation? He's like, you know what? I'm going to go on a 2-week cruise. There's no one there to drill and fill, right? There's no need to have the receptionist or the hygienist work that week. Like he would have to hire another dentist to come in. So that's an idea. That's where a dentist could transition from self-employed to a business owner, okay? Now I did the same thing in my business. As I started perfecting my YouTube strategy and starting getting results for my clients, I was the videographer. I was the editor in the beginning. That's something that I was able to hire pretty quickly. I was able to hire some great editors, but I trained them on my system, and I was still the guy behind the camera. So I could be there to coach my clients. I knew how to set up the lights, I would operate the camera, and then I would send all that footage to my editing team. Then they would send it to me and I would get it ready for YouTube. Wearing the hat of the videographer was the hardest one for me to let go of. And it's funny, I mean, my filming team here now, they're such better videographers than me. But because I knew the strategy and because I'd been doing it for so long and I wanted my clients to be taken care of, that was a really hard hat for me to take off. Okay, so here's a question for you. And maybe you're asking yourself this, maybe you're still employed and you're wondering, can I start a business on the side? I've got a 40-hour-a-week job. Can I build a successful business on the side? And I want to encourage you to start, to get that ball rolling. But my prediction is that in order for you to really get your business to a point where it's got momentum, where the income can replace your job, you've got to go full-time in your business because there's all these hats that you've got to wear. Now, if this is the first episode of mine that you've watched on this channel, you might not know my expertise is around YouTube and how to leverage YouTube to generate leads for your business. So of all the hats that you're currently wearing in your business, I'm giving you another one, but there's an efficient way of doing it. So I've created this book called A Hero's Guide to Influence on YouTube. It's a way that you can get maximum results on YouTube in a very, very efficient way so you can get results. This is how you generate leads on YouTube. This is my gift to you. I don't make any profit on what I'm gonna give to you here. This is the hardcover version, and color is a lot more expensive than I thought. So I'm gonna ask you, let me just show you this. I put 2 years of sweat into this book, but full color because I really wanted to be able to show you and teach you so that you can implement and get the same results that I do on all the different channels that I produce. So whether you want paperback or hardcover, if you go to natesyoutubebook.com, this is called free plus shipping. So as long as you cover my costs, then this is my gift to you.